Hello, YouTube, and welcome, knife enthusiast. Today, today I have a Crescent Wrench or a Crescent brand from the Crescent Wrench brand, and I would love to know how they can make a knife which has such amazing action. I mean, the action on this is just unbelievable for a $10 knife. Now, I think if you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, you might be able to get this for like $18. But I got this at Christmas time, and out of all my modern knives, this is probably the first one I got because I got this one. I got a 2-pack for $20. The other one was black. So the black one I gave a coworker, a guy I work with, and I took this one, the orange one, and so yeah, it was like I think the 2-pack was $20, so they were $10 each. But you can go on Amazon and find this. I think it's like 18 bucks on Amazon or 20 bucks on Amazon. Uh it definitely has to be on ball bearings to be as smooth as it is. Now it's not drop shut, but uh I've carried it in my pocket a lot. I've never taken it apart. I've never oiled it. I must have dropped it or something. I do have a scuff on it right here. But I don't have any or no, I got one Civivi in my collection. But to me, from the reviews I see on Civivis and stuff, this feels like one of the cheap G10 versions of a Civivi. Could be completely wrong about that, but the deep carry pocket clip is real similar to a Civivi pocket clip, deep carry. But for 18 bucks, you get a knife with a deep carry pocket clip, and don't know a whole lot about blade steel. I know that this is a pretty budget blade steel here if my camera would focus on it, but it's darn camera. It is CR 8 CR 13 MOV. No, it's 5CR 15 MOV. So real good blade steel or anything. But I could be wrong about that. I don't know why my camera won't focus on that writing at all. Just don't think it can see it. I mean, I can't even see the writing unless I hold it in just the right angle. But CPX 325CR, that must be the model number. And this knife is super, super slicey. It has a really hollow grind, like it's really, really thin. All the way, almost all the way up. It is like the same thickness, really thin, which makes it extremely slicey. And it's not quite drop shut, but I bet if I loosened up the pivot just a tiny, tiny bit, I bet it would be drop shut. But I bought the 2-pack for work because I needed a new work knife for a beater knife for work. And when I first got this, I thought they were on spring, like spring assisted, like a Kirkshaw, because it flew out with such freaking force, like this Kershaw. 1555. I've been carrying a Kershaw in my pocket for the past 20 years. So, I mean, I really love my Kershaws. This ain't my favorite Kershaw. I'll have to do a video on Kershaws to show you, but my favorite one is Aries. It doesn't have the thumb stud deployment, which for most of these spring-assisted ones, I can never get it with the... Well, yeah, I got it with the middle finger flick. And this is a 1556. Kind of always have them just sitting out. People said in their reviews that this one did not come flying out as hard as 1555, and they're right, it doesn't. I don't know if it's a bigger knife or they just needed to use a bigger spring, but love the shape of these Kershaws. But I know a lot of people don't like spring-assisted knives, and the more I get into knives, I'm not going to pay a lot of money for a spring-assisted knife anymore. Like, I'm not going to spend $150 or $300 on a spring-assisted knife. I don't even know if they make them. Seems like all the high-end knives are all ones that just work with a good D10 and a good ball bearings. And this thing has to be on ball bearings. Nice G10. But love the blade on this too. Such a nice hollow grind. Carries really nice in the pocket. It's a little wide, but I like a slightly wider knife. It feels better in the hand. And like a lot of Kershaws, especially their spring-assisted ones, are super thin, which is nice because they don't take up much room in your pocket. And your hand can slip by. But I got a lot of knives that are a lot thicker than this one, so this one really ain't that big of a deal to me. Like these Tucson's, you can see how thick that thing is. That thing makes this one look thin. And that thing, extremely slicey blade. Wong Design D2. I think you can get these right now. I think they're in stock for like $33. I mean, come on now. Are you kidding me? A Tucson with freaking G10, D2 tool steel, deep carry pocket clip. Man, you can't beat that for 33 bucks. I'm pretty sure they're in stock right now on eBay for like 33 bucks, which you cannot beat. I think they're normally like anywhere between 33 to 42 for a Tucson knife. Of course, it's absolute drop shut, like all Tucson's. Immediately falls back on the detent. This one, I feel like I can adjust it. Let me try real quick. Alright, let's just loosen up the pivot just a little bit. See if we can't make it drop shut. When I say a little bit, I mean just a little bit. Well, still not quite. But anyways, this knife really made me want to make a video on knives because after getting it, I tried to do some research and I could not find not one video on this. Not even one. Not one person has ever taken the time to review this. And I feel like it definitely deserves a review. I actually bought quite a few knives that I could not find a review on. A lot of knife reviewers, they either get their knives for free to do reviews on, or companies just send them knives to do reviews on, and then they send the knives back, or they get knives in for sharpening, so they do videos on them. I think there's a lot of sponsored videos out too, like Blade HQ. They do a crap ton of videos on knives, and they're pretty much just promoting what they want to sell. As far as an honest knife reviewer, I think that's really hard to find out there. There are some really good ones, and I still like watching like Metal Complex and all them. Some of the knives they show, or most of them, are way out of my price range, but really awesome to see a budget knife like this that you can go down to Home Depot or Lowe's and pick up, that just has amazing action. Every bit as good as any Ethangrau, Sativian, Gonzo, anything like that I've bought. This is actually better action than you get with a lot of Gonzos. This feels a lot better in the hand than a lot more expensive knives. No sharp edges nowhere. I mean, it's to come off the detent is, or come off the lock bar is really, really easy. Like, they make it if you sit here and fidget with your knife, the lock bar will start cutting into your finger. But you can see here how they beveled it. Made it really nice and soft to unlock. And I just really thought this knife was deserving of a review for a $10 or $20 knife. You can get a 2-pack of these if they still have them, which I'm sure they will around Christmas time or Father's Day. They'll have 2 packs of these. And you can keep one for yourself and give one to a friend or a family member, like I did. And I know he really, really appreciates it. He was a Kershaw guy. He's carried a Kershaw in his pocket for the past 20 years. And he's told me several times how much he appreciates this knife and likes it, and has thanked me for it more than once. So, and I work with him, so I see him use it all the time. And his has held up every bit as good as mine. Now, of course, I have lots of other knives, but this did get carried a lot. Now, I bought this around Christmas time in the 2-pack. Then shortly after Christmas, I got this Kershaw 1555, just because I wanted a new Kershaw. And I love this knife. Absolutely love it. It was a little small in my hand. And that got me watching knife reviews to find out which was the best Kershaw to buy. Well, that unleashed everything. That got me looking at all the other knife reviews for different knives, and led me down the path of buying all kinds of knives like Gonzos and everything else. And then trying to think, I think the third knife I would have bought would have been a Gonzo. Or no, it was this EF knife. This was the third one I bought. Got this off of eBay. It's an Grau G10. I put a mirrored edge on this. This thing is razor sharp. Absolute mirrored edge on it too. It's kind of the knife I chose to practice my sharpening on because of the big choil there. And choke up on this. Choke way up on it to really get in there for precision slicing. On bearings, absolute drop shot. I've made a video on this too. Because this was another knife I never saw a video on. This is a knife that got me hooked on spidey flicking. Oh, and then I ended up buying this knife, which got me hooked on the axis lock. So I got a bunch of knives that have axis locks now because I love them because of this knife. And this is the EF Grau ND2. Oh, I like to say this is EF 650 or something, or 950. I don't know. But man, this knife, absolutely love it. Extremely slicey blade, big flat grind. The Grau, I think this is like 24 bucks. I got this one for like 18. I think you can still find it for like 18. I didn't think I would like the blade shape, but I absolutely love it. Really grew on me. I don't know why. I just love this crazy, ugly knife. And this Gonzo was the first Gonzo I got. I've got a lot of Gonzos since, and they just don't even compare to this thing. Feels awesome in the hand. The blade angle, I mean, just wow. This knife's 20 bucks on ball bearings. Think as 440C though, which I really wish they would redo this one with D2, but D2 is definitely one of my favorite steels, my favorite budget steels. I think my favorite super steel is probably, I don't know, M390. It's definitely the most common one. But, absolutely amazing knife. Cannot freaking beat it for the money. And the lockup. The sound that this makes just might be better than any of the other knives sitting out right now. Except for maybe the Tucson. Yeah, completely different sound. Really good, satisfying sound when it locks up. But completely different than this one. For a $10 knife, there's something that you don't see. Doesn't have a lock bar. A blade stop. This pin up here that most knives have. Like all freaking knives have. They all have a little lock pin there. All of them. Even that one has one down in there. Even this one, with an axis lock, they still rely on it. But this one has an internal one. So, any of you knife enthusiasts out there, and knife collectors, let me know down in the comments if you know of a freaking $10 knife that has ball bearings and no lock bar. Like, are you kidding me? It's internal. You can see it right there. It's internal. You can see the pins right there. They go through the blade. And it's internal. That's crazy. For a freaking $10 knife or $18 knife. Go get you one. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Always leave comments. And have an awesome day.